Hello everyone. Before we are going to start our topic today, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Anja Ying, and our group member have Vanessa Law, Hu Mingming, Lian Leong Jiaqi, and Taylor Singh. I'm Anja Ying, a reporter on the scene today, and I'm reporting on 2021 Hualien trend derailment. Before we are going to report our news today, let us watching a video. As we can see, the incident occurred on the 2nd April 2021, 9:28 a.m. when a construction truck parked on a slope fell and rolled down and collided with a passenger train. This caused it to derail in a tunnel on the east coast of Taiwan province. Subsequently, the president of Taiwan ordered an investigation into the cause of the accident, and swift efforts were made to rescue and trapped and injured, and the driver of the construction truck that caused the accident, who is Li Yixiang, was taken to the police station for questioning. According to the official edition, the train has 374 seats, but it carries nearly 500 people, and many passengers are standing in crowded carriage. Also, the Transportation Safety Board reported that 30 of the 44 people killed in the accident who with no seat ticket, and 213 seriously injured. Besides that, Hualien District Court said in a statement that Lee's action caused serious casualty and seriously affected the social order while causing physical and mental trauma to many victims, and that Lee was jailed for manslaughter. His assistant was acquitted by the court for lack of evidence. Overall, the accident, which is most serious accident of Taiwan Railway in the past 60 years old. Next, I will pass to the next speaker, who is Lian.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lian, the investigation officer for the Special Investigation Team. We had found the problem for this incident after a few days of collecting data and investigating the scene. The first major cause is the construction truck that parked improperly on the slope and slid down. First, the day of the incident was a public holiday of Qingming Festival. The construction was strictly prohibited on the construction site, so there should be no traffic vehicles on the construction site. But the driver had break the rules for working without informing anyone. The construction site also have proper parking slot, but the driver ignored it and still parked beside the slope. Besides that, the driver also have a lengthy criminal record for big riding, faking his own engineering record, and so on. So it can be seen that the driver has very serious ethical problem. The second cause that we found is they failed to notify the railway of the dangerous obstruction after the truck had rolled down. The construction train truck driver and the one-side hazard inspection manager attempt to free the truck. They improvised the toll method, but it failed, and allowed the truck to roll downhill onto the unprotected tracks more quickly. According to the Hualien District Prosecutor Office, instead of seeking for professional help, they recklessly tried to pull with the wrong method by using a rope tied to a backhoe. According to the report, they still have about 15 minutes to inform, but they didn't. By the time the train driver found out, he only had 6.9 seconds to respond, and a brake application only reduced the speed to 121 kilometers per hour, so he couldn't have stopped in time. They did not take the immediate action to inform the authorities in the first time, so they are not socially responsible for their action. This is what our team had found out so far, and thank you. I'll pass the next slide to Leslie.
Thank you, Lian. Good afternoon, I'm Leslie, the leader of the search and rescue team. Due to a serious collision between a train and a truck in a tunnel to this accident, a large number of injured passengers were trapped inside. Therefore, as soon as we arrived at the scene, we had to act quickly to rescue the injured. I decided to let the rescue team to give priority to the more easily rescued passengers, such as passengers with minor injuries or those who were not stuck in the deformed train. Of course, we'll also rescue the passengers who are stuck in the deformed train. And this allowed us to increase efficiency and save more passengers. By following the utilitarianism proposed by Jeremy Bentham, in this way, we can save the more life, increase the percentage of survivors, and be able to make the most people happy. The greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. Faced with the possibility of an explosion at any time, search and rescue teams must first rescue those relatively easy to rescue passengers. For example, if they took the time to open the car just to rescue a stuck passenger, they would have delayed what could have been the rescue of many more passengers. And this result violates utilitarianism. I've done my part. Let's listen to Vanessa.
Thank you, Lexing. I'm Vanessa, a sociology professor of National Taiwan University. I think this incident involves deontology in ethics and social responsibility, the sanctity of moral obligations and responsibilities, the significance of upholding them, and the place and significance of individuals' moral obligation and reasons in moral appreciate are all read by the theory. It asserts the determining whether or not persons' acts are morally right or wrong rests slowly on whether they follow moral guidelines, have good intentions, or are required to do so. First, I think the driver of the construction truck didn't do her duty because, based on this news, he improperly parked the construction trunks on the slope and caused the trunks to fall off the slope and collide with the train. Besides, when the accident happened, he didn't immediately call trains railways administrations to ask them to contact train's driver urgently to slow down the train. Also, it was mentioned in the news that he didn't want to call for help when the accident happened. Even though it just looked a few minutes, but he had already failed to uphold his duty from moment when he decided not to alert him and report the occurrence. Next, I will pass to Miming to talk about her part.
Thank you, Vanessa. I am Ming. So last, we are totally disagree with the actions of driver at fault and the way he handled the accidents after it happens. First of all, on the day of the accidents, it was Qingming Festival, when everyone will go home on vacations, but the perpetrators choose to do construction on the same day. We think this a violation of social responsibility, which is unethical economic growth. Secondly, he parked his truck on the slopes, which is also a very important reason for this accident. According to news reports, we know that there is a spot for truck to park at the construction site. If the driver had parked the truck in the right place, it might not have caused this serious tragedy. Afterwards, as the truck rolled down the ramps onto the tracks, instead of calling the management train crew and asking them for help, the driver called his friends for help to put the truck out. We believe the driver should have called to report this in the first place so that the train personnel could have taken any safety measures to mitigate the severity of the accidents, or the accidents could have been avoided altogether. In addition, we found that he was full of lies in his interviews, which was again moral virtue. He said he was not working that day and just patrolling a lot, but after a few days of evidence, the local prosecutors revealed to the public that there were more than 10 workers at the scene. He was also caught on camera driving that truck on the same day, and there was another person inside the truck. We agree that the perpetrators did not pay his virtues, and if he had complied with social responsibility, this accident might not have happened. That's all for our presentations. Thanks for listening and paying attention.